We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins a 4-day tour of Jordan, Ethiopia and Oman today. Jordan visit marks 75 years of diplomatic ties, aims to boost bilateral relations and regional cooperation. Australia mourns victims of Bondi Hanukkah festival shooting. Police say father and son behind the shooting that killed 15. Ukraine's Zelensky signals a willingness to drop NATO bid in talks to end the Ukraine conflict. Trump envoy Steve Witkoff says major progress made after talks. India goes to 1-up after thrashing South Africa by 7 wickets in third T20 International in Dharamshala. And on to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will begin a 4-day tour to Jordan, Ethiopia and Oman on Monday. The first leg takes him to Jordan from December 15 to 16th at the invitation of King Abdullah II. Now, marking 75 years of ties, the visit will review bilateral relations and regional issues, giving fresh momentum to India-Jordan partnership. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya has this more report.
In West Asia's complex geopolitical landscape, Jordan has emerged as a stable and trusted partner for India, anchored in shared commitments to peace and regional stability. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will undertake a 2-day bilateral visit to Jordan starting Monday at the invitation of King Abdullah bin Al Hussein. This marks the Prime Minister's full-fledged bilateral visit to the kingdom and coincides with 75 years of diplomatic relations between India and Jordan.
It's a truly historic and a landmark visit. This is the year when we are celebrating 75 years of establishment of diplomatic relationship between India and Jordan. And perhaps this is the most memorable occasion, and we couldn't have asked for more. We are all looking forward to his presence in our midst, the Indian community here, and His Majesty and the entire government and the leadership have been extremely positive and responsive to this memorable occasion, and we are all geared to ensure a very smooth, successful and productive visit.
During the visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold talks with King Abdullah II to review the full spectrum of bilateral ties and exchange views on key regional and global developments.
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will embark on a bilateral visit to the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan from December 15 to 16, 2025. This will be Prime Minister's first full-fledged bilateral visit to Jordan, which is coinciding with the 75th year of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Jordan. Bilateral visit is taking place after an interval of 37 years. India and Jordan share warm and friendly relations marked by mutual trust and goodwill. The relationship spans across sectors including political, economic, defense and strong people-to-people ties.
India-Jordan economic relations have grown steadily over the years. India is now Jordan's third largest trading partner, with bilateral trade valued at nearly $2.8 billion. Jordan plays a vital role in India's food security, supplying critical fertilizers such as phosphates and potash for India's agricultural sector. Both countries are exploring new areas of collaboration, including green energy, water technology and food security. Tourism cooperation, along with education and digital innovation, is emerging as the next frontier as India and Jordan work towards a future driven by knowledge and innovation.
With shared values, growing economic ties and new areas of cooperation, India and Jordan are poised to take their partnership to the next level, turning 75 years of friendship into a future of deeper regional cooperation and mutual growth. With camera person Ashish, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Jordan.
Indeed, India's Tapas Bhattacharya is in Jordan and joins us from there. Well, Tapas, what are the key takeaways expected from Prime Minister Modi's visit to Jordan, and how significant is this tour for strengthening India's engagement in West Asia?
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Jordan is being viewed here as a watershed moment in bilateral ties. This is the first time, in fact, this is the first full-fledged bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister, and it comes at a time when India is deepening its engagement across West Asia. The focus is not limited to diplomatic symbolism. Substantive outcomes are expected in areas such as trade, investment, renewable energy cooperation, and coordination on regional security. Jordan is a stable and trusted partner in this particularly volatile region, and this visit reinforces India's commitment to working closely with Oman on shared regional concerns, including peace and stability in the Middle East. It also underscores Jordan's importance in India's West Asia outreach.
All right. How Prime Minister Modi's visit is being received in Jordan, and what does it signal for future cooperation as well?
Right. On the grounds in Jordan, Prime Minister Modi's visit has generated strong interest and positive statement. There is a visible goodwill for India, driven by cultural familiarity and the popularity of Indian films and the presence of the Indian community. Jordanian officials see this visit as an opportunity to elevate cooperation beyond the traditional diplomacy, particularly in tourism, cultural exchanges, education, people-to-people contact. And Prime Minister's engagement at heritage sites are being closely watched by each and everyone as they highlight the soft power dimension of the relationship and signals a long-term multifaceted partnership between India and Jordan.
Well, India has categorically rejected the assertions made by the interim government of Bangladesh. In a press release, the Ministry of External Affairs said that we have consistently reiterated our position in favor of free, fair, inclusive and credible elections being held in Bangladesh in a peaceful atmosphere. Now, India has never allowed its territory to be used for activities inimical to the interest of the friendly people of Bangladesh. We expect that the interim government of Bangladesh will take all necessary measures for ensuring internal law and order, including for the purpose of holding peaceful elections. And the winter session of India's Parliament enters its last leg today, with the government pushing through substantial legislations. In Rajya Sabha or the upper house, further discussion on election reform will take place besides question hour and zero hour, while in Lok Sabha or the lower house, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will introduce the appropriation bill for the services of the financial year 2025-2026 for consideration and passing. And India is ranked as the world's third most competitive AI power according to Stanford University's Global AI Vibrancy Tool. We give you all the details in our next report on how this feat is a big boost to India's AI mission and the vision of Viksit Bharat or Developed India by the year 2047.
Stanford University's Global AI Vibrancy Tool ranked India as the world's third most competitive country in artificial intelligence. India's rapidly growing tech ecosystem and large talent pools landed firmly in the third place of the list. The latest ranking highlights how India's fast-growing tech ecosystem and strong talent base are helping the country play a key role in the global AI race. This puts India ahead of several advanced economies, including the United Kingdom, Japan, Canada, Germany, and France. This ranking reflects not just R&D output, but economic strength, policy engagement, and public awareness of AI. The development comes a few days after top global companies announced their plans to invest multi-billion dollars in the country's AI infrastructure in the next few years. Amazon announced an investment commitment of $35 billion by 2030 in key AI, logistics, and cloud computing infrastructure. Microsoft has pledged an investment of $17.5 billion, its biggest investment in Asia, for cloud and AI expansion. The findings reinforce the idea that India is no longer a peripheral player in AI, but a central contender, shaping the next phase of global technological competition. For the first time in India's history, the government is actively shaping an AI ecosystem where computing power, GPUs, and research opportunities are accessible at an affordable cost. Unlike in the past, AI in India is no longer confined to a privileged few or dominated by global tech giants. Through forward-looking policies, the Modi government is empowering students, startups, and innovators with world-class AI infrastructure, fostering a truly level playing field. Initiatives such as the India AI Mission and the establishment of centers of excellence for AI are strengthening the country's AI ecosystem, paving the way for innovation and self-reliance in this critical sector. These efforts align with the vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047, where India aspires to become a global AI powerhouse, leveraging cutting-edge technology for economic growth, governance, and societal progress. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, with the arrival of the final delegation in the 4th edition of Kashi Tamil Sangamam, the program is now moving towards its conclusion. To encourage the 7th and final delegation, Union Minister of State for Education, Sukanta Majumdar, attended the cultural program at Namo Ghat. In the 4th phase of Kashi Tamil Sangamam, these melodic waves at Namo Ghat, the classical music traditions of the gharanas of Kashi, the vibrant energy emanating from the musical instruments of Tamil Nadu. This confluence of all is further enriching the spirit of Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. On the 4th phase of Kashi Tamil Sangamam, a total of 7 delegations arrived on the sacred land of Kashi. Along with Kashi, they also visited Prayagraj and Ayodhya, along with the exchange of language, cuisine, literature, crafts and various art forms. The most important bond formed was the unification of emotions.
Guest of honor and director at the IITPH.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Syria arrests 5 suspects after attack on joint US-Syrian convoy in Palmyra. Delhi marks final stop of Messi's GOAT India Tour 2025 with celebration of young football talent. And thousands don Santa suits as Mexico City hosts a festive 7th annual Santa Run.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. We read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. And moving on, Australia is in mourning after a father-son duo killed at least 15 in an attack at a Jewish celebration in Sydney's Bondi Beach. Now, investigations continue in Bondi Beach attack as police raided the home of the alleged gunmen. The father, a 50-year-old, was killed at the scene while his 24-year-old son was in a critical condition in the hospital. Officials have described Sunday's shooting as a targeted anti-Semitic attack. 40 people remain in hospital following the attack, including 2 police officers who are in a serious but stable condition. The victims were aged between 10 and 87.
We notice them, they come and go every day here, and they never say hello or anything. They just normal. We thought they are normal people. Yeah, we were so shocked to notice that one of the guy who shoot people, they live in here. Shocking and terrifying. I was worried about my family and my kids here. One of my kids, he was working last night. He came home around 12 and he couldn't come back. So he has to go back and stay with a friend.
Well, witnesses said the attack at the famed beach, which was packed on a hot evening, lasted about 10 minutes, sending hundreds of people scattering along the sand and into nearby streets. Police said around 1,000 people had attended the targeted Hanukkah event, which was held in a small park off the beach. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese visited Bondi Beach and laid flowers near the scene of the attack, while some mourners were seen placing candles, flowers and Israeli and Australian flags. Albanese earlier called the attack a dark moment for our nation and said police and security agencies were thoroughly checking the motive behind the attack. US President Trump also offered his condolences.
And likewise in Australia, as you know, there was a terrible attack, 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
Well, mass shootings are rare in Australia, one of the world's safest countries. But Sunday's attack was the worst since 1996, when a gunman killed 35 people at the Port Arthur tourist site in the southern island state of Tasmania.
Those things that we've been saying are concerns, have been concerns and are still concerns. Am I surprised? Absolutely. I never thought that we would see something like that in this country. So I'm absolutely surprised. Do I think that those things need to be relooked? Absolutely. We need to really have a good, hard think about how we deal with social media, how we deal with messaging, what we tolerate, whether it's in the name of free speech or otherwise. We really need to have a strong think about it, because this is just unacceptable on any level.
Well, a man was taken into custody from Rhode Island Hotel in the Brown University shooting that left 2 students dead and 9 wounded amid year-end final exams at the Ivy League school. Providence Police Chief Perez said the person detained in connection with Saturday's gun violence was in his 20s but declined to share further details. Detectives anticipated that the person in custody would be formally charged on Sunday night. FBI Director Kashi said in a post on X that the person of interest had been detained in a hotel room in the Rhode Island town of Coventry, a 30-minute drive from the Brown campus. An FBI team specializing in cellular data analysis used geolocation information to track the suspect. The mass shooting, the latest of nearly 400 in the U.S. this year, shook the community at the university, one of the oldest in the United States. The school cancelled exams and classes for the rest of the year, and the campus was quiet on Sunday as a light snowfall blanketed the city. Well, flowers and candles were laid on the Brown University campus in Providence, Rhode Island, outside the building where a shooting left 2 people dead and 9 others injured as the Ivy League University reels from the attack. And now moving on to updates from Russia-Ukraine conflict, where President Volodymyr Zelensky has offered to drop Ukraine's aspirations to join the NATO military alliance. Now, it came ahead of his 5 hours of talks with the U.S. envoys in Berlin to end the conflict with Russia, with negotiations set to continue on Monday. Now, Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff said a lot of progress was made as he and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner met Zelensky in the latest push to end Europe's bloodiest conflict since World War II. The full details were not divulged. The move marks a major shift for Ukraine, which has fought to join NATO as a safeguard against Russian attacks and has such an aspiration included in its constitution. It also meets one of Russia's aims, although Kyiv has so far held firm against ceding territory to Moscow. The talks were hosted by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Britain, France and Germany have been working to refine the US proposals, which in a draft disclosed last month called for Kyiv to cede more territory, abandon its NATO ambitions and accept limits on its armed forces. Well, Syria has arrested 5 people suspected of having links to the shooting of US and Syrian troops in the central Syrian town of Amara on Saturday. The Interior Ministry said on Sunday 2 US soldiers and a civilian interpreter were killed when an assailant attacked a joint convoy before being shot dead. Authorities identified the attacker as a Syrian security force member suspected of sympathizing with Islamic State. The arrest followed a joint operation with international coalition forces. Syria reaffirmed cooperation with the US-led coalition against ISIS, with officials stressing a shared commitment to combat the group. The US maintains troops in Syria as part of its long-running anti-ISIS mission. And on to some sports news now. India defeated South Africa in the third T20 International by 7 wickets in Dharamshala on Sunday. The win, set up by an exceptional bowling performance, gave India a 2-1 lead in the 5-match leg. The home team was in the driver's seat from start to finish in a dominant showing. After electing to field, India was ruthless with the ball, bundling South Africa out for 117 runs. Arshdeep Singh, Harshit Rana, Kuldeep and Varun took 2 wickets each. Well, in reply, India chased the total in 15.5 overs. The 4th T20 International will take place on Wednesday in Lucknow. And Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi is set to host a global football icon Lionel Messi on Monday, marking the final leg of his GOAT India Tour 2025 and bringing the countrywide celebrations to a close. The program at the stadium will see Messi felicitating Minerva Academy's teams who won 3 major youth titles, highlighting India's emerging football talent. Now, Delhi and District Cricket Association Secretary Ashok Sharma said that Messi's visit would be a major source of inspiration for young footballers, adding that such moments play a crucial role in nurturing future talent in the sport. And more than 3,000 people filled the streets of Mexico City, taking part in the annual Santa race, celebrating the holiday season. Let's take a look. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.